reaches out for a gust and takes a hold of his shirt and shakes him and shakes himself in the process.
Oh man, what's wrong with you? What's going on?
You're actually here because of the disappearances, am I right?
You might also want to take a look down. That's where my friend was patrolling. One of the lighting panels on the roof is out.
If she goes missing, we'll have a new link to follow.
Oh, but she can't go missing, guys. Come on. What? We're just gonna let people die or
Do
disappear?
you want to go missing?
Our job is not to protect other people. Our job is to find out why things are disappearing.
Oh my gosh, you guys are heartless.
Solving that issue.
You put the hand sanitizer on your hands and you go to put it on your face. And when you go to put it on your face is when you take a look at the color of it. It's very unusually colored.
You have covered yourself with some sort of dimensional displacement.
Like goo from an outer realm or something.
Unlike when you're transported to begin a contract, this feels like you've been pulled from somewhere quite violently. The area that you're in looks not dissimilar, but now you see. The colors are inverted.
Right.
2 dimensions, like I said, or 2 realms, same kind of thing.
Yes, the dimensions are crossing each other.
MRI Units 1 and 2 and CT units have been updated with firmware provided by Dr. Irving as requested. Post showed no issues, but we must note that we have bypassed the usual technical and medical oversight process under protest at the urgent request of Dr. Irving and Dr. Morell.
Usually there's a big stop button.
In
The
various
stop
directions.
button. The stop button, not the go faster
I hit the
button.
stop button. Look, I just had a memo right here that says that normal standards for medical oversight shit are like completely ignored. So I think
Abbreviate.
I might have fucked this up.
Yes,
I don't know what that means.
it's binary code.
The MRI machine powers down completely, and the bursts of superheated helium slow to a stop. And then you're all in the room, and there's other people here, and Sarah drops her box of donuts, and what the hell are you doing here? Sarah has walked into the technician's booth, where you are standing.
Okay.
And as because the outside of the booth is transparent, she's able to see into the MRI room, and she is surprised at seeing you all there, and also surprised that her MRI machine is suddenly full of holes.
Her MRI machine.
And there are a number of other men of various weights and heights, but all looking fairly tough,
Right.
looking maybe security-minded, sitting or standing throughout the room. Not sitting,
Probably
standing throughout the room.
technicians.
Sarah, upon seeing you in the technician's booth and seeing everybody else, drops her box of donuts.
Rip.
What the hell?
Surprise?
Sarah looks at you, blinks a few times, looks across at the rest of you.
You really had nothing better than that?
Look, I'm a little drained right now.
Who amongst you has any awareness points? It's still just you, right? Alright,
Just-
roll!
Yeah, first roll of the session. 7.
Alright, even through the transparent plastic externals of the technician's booth, you realize that as soon as Sarah dropped her donuts, she put her hand to the control panel somewhere. And although it's difficult for you to see what it is she's pressing from where you are, she's pressing it rapidly.
Paul, get her away from the control panel.
The other fellows in the room are all staring at you. There's about 4 of them. 2 of them are security guards. Quite clearly, they have security written on them. They're wearing bulletproof vests. 2 others are thin, wiry-looking technician-type fellows who look like they haven't slept in a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I push past her and I radio. Alright, meeting up or dashing?
While you run out of the room,
Okay.
Sarah just picks up her box of donuts again, walks over to the door, pulls it open. Well, I guess it's already open because you rushed
Yes,
out.
I rushed out.
The door that leads into... Did you run into the MRI room and out, or did you run through the other door?
That's what I was
Okay.
radioing to them, because there's a small hallway
That's
between
right.
the two, correct?
So she goes over to the door that leads into the MRI room and pulls it open. Gentlemen, more security will be here shortly. I think they'll have some questions for you.
Yeah. And I just kind of sneak my way past her.
She grabs your ear.
Okay,
Aren't you
okay.
the kid that I bought the tea for?
It's so much more complicated than that.
Okay, well, you look like you're in really bad shape. She looks around. I don't know what the hell's going on, and that is a very expensive machine that you guys did something to.
It wasn't us, and oh my god, you would not believe it. But, like, we really gotta go.
At this point, Apollo bursts into the other door leading to the same room. Guys! Shit.
She looks back at you.
Sarah,
She offers you an old-fashioned glazed. Why don't you just sit down?
Sour cream glaze?
Looks in the box.
I do not believe we are leaving this room at the moment, gentlemen. Why don't we just settle this?
What did you say your name was?
you can call me Heat. Or Gus. Can you just let go of my ear? It's really pinching pretty hard there.
She gives you a long look with associated paperwork.
Sarah!
She lets go of your ear and says, alright, let's make a deal. You guys stay here. I'll take your friends, because he is bleeding. And we'll get him patched up in the ER. Just stay here until
It's not
security
really bleeding.
arrives.
I mean, the burn cauterized his wounds.
She looks over. He has a knife wound along the neck and a different burn from very cold material going across his skin.
Sarah,
She looks back at you. Which of us is the nurse? Okay.
She leads me away.
Continue.
I could set him on fire. He does it all the time. I could set him on fire.
I'd love to hear all about it once we got you patched up. Come on.
We do have a doctor that may possibly should go with you. Dr. Keel, do you...
I'm off duty.
Alright, fuck me then.
I'll be back in literally no time, guys. Just
Follow.
It'll be quick.
Why don't you go with him?
Me?
Yeah.
I was saying the doctor should go because that was kind of in order. But
Guys,
if he's just gonna not.
Stay
None of you
here.
are going, she looks back, because all of you are fine. Well, mostly fine.
I don't. It was Sarah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Great.
Well, sorry, I was trying to be pleasant here, but the doctor does look pretty worse for wear. Maybe you could.
She looks you over, maybe a little battered and
He has
bruised.
some several lacerations and a couple bruises.
Well, I can really only deal with one person at a time. Tell you what, I'll come back for you.
If you just gave me some basic first aid equipment, I could probably see to myself.
I bet you could, but that's not how things happen at the hospital. We're not a supply store.
I have a medical degree from a prestigious university in London.
I'm happy for you. She looks back to you, gestures with her head, tucks the donuts under one arm.
Dr. Keel wishes he had laser vision.
He wishes he had the pyrokinesis.
and gestures to the rest of you, stay here. It'll be a lot more trouble for everybody if you all run off, because then we'll have to get the police involved.
Yeah, but I hate to say this, Sarah, but as Gus' legal guardian, I do not agree to allowing him to leave this room without my consent.
No, he's not my legal guardian. Let me leave the room. I'm really in a lot of pain, and I'm not doing great. I'll be back. I trust Sarah. She's bought me tea in the past. Like I said, on my top 10. I swear, guys, and I'm like walking backwards, kind of, hey, okay, guys, I'll talk to you later.
She shuts the door behind the two of them.
I radio immediately. Keep us posted if anything happens.
So, I'm going to do
What's wrong with that kid?
most of August Heat's section, and we'll come back to what's happening with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright. Sarah leads you away to the ER. So here's the imaging area that you guys were in at the bottom there. So she leads you around the hallways. The lights here are still out, but you don't feel anything or see anything strange while she leads you around. She takes you back out here to the emergency section and takes you down this hallway where all the people are doing those strange things that you noticed before.
Yep.
Many of them are clutching at their heads and their temples and their ears, and a few of them are like their hands will go towards their eyes and then they'll stop as though they want to, but they know they shouldn't.
Sarah, I know we've gotten along pretty well this past couple minutes.
10 minutes?
I mean, you know my name. You bought me tea. What's wrong with these all these people in the lobby. It's like they're trying to rip their own eyes out.
Just looks around at the various
I mean, it's not normal around
cots
here,
and
right?
wheelchairs and so on. We've had some really strange things happening lately. Strange cases, a lot of them. Come with me. We'll get you patched up and we can keep talking. Can I offer you something more?
No, you've been too generous.
Well, I needed to get enough for everybody. Hungry this time of night.
There wasn't a lot of people in that room, though. There was only the technicians and I guess the security, cause us.
It's true, there's not too many people in the hospital this time of night, and less so on this shift than there normally would be. We've had a lot of people have to call in sick.
But with all these sick people and this breakout, don't you think there should be flooded with doctors around here?
She pushes her way into the emergency room and gestures you after her. You're not real familiar with the Ontario health system, are you?
I mean, I'm aware that it's decent, better than some systems, but just doesn't make any sense.
So as you enter the emergency room, the room is divided into lots of little cubby holes, basically, with beds in them that can be divided off from the main area with curtains. The main area has a long, deep table that is made of, looks like some sort of hard plastic, and it has lots and lots of boxes stacked on it. The boxes themselves look to you unremarkable. They're clear plastic, and above each of these boxes is suspended what looks like a heat lamp. And then in amidst these boxes, they have the usual medical supplies you might see, like surgical gloves and masks, and the little blue gowns stacked up for patients to wear, and other paraphernalia of the medical discipline.
Could I wash my hands by that sink over there? It's just... That wasn't hand sanitizer in the dispensers.
Oh. That's strange. Okay, sure, go ahead.
I mean, you're a doctor, and I kind of put it to your face. What, do you know anything of this stuff? I haven't seen it before.
She pushes your hands back a
Oh,
little bit.
yeah.
Nurse technician, actually. And no, but it could be a lot of things. Why don't you just wash your hands? There's soap. And she points to one of the vacant cubby holes. Then come join me over here, okay?
Alright, I do that, and I grab a pair of gloves from one of those boxes, put gloves on, and then walk in. Sorry, I couldn't get that stuff on my hands again. It was gross.
That's fine. We have plenty. Sit down. So as you're walking to the cubbyhole, it's one of the furthest ones along the emergency section here.
Where's the soap?
The soap was soap.
Oh, thank God.
So in order to get to the cubbyhole that she gestured you to, you have to go past a great many of the others. And here you see that whatever it was that was affecting the people out in the hallway might still be the case for them as well. It looks like each of them came in on something different, because you can see their charts and they're set into little plastic holders, and they're set up differently. Some of them have an IV drip, and some of them are just sitting in a chair. Some of them are lying on their bed. Some of them have an ultrasound machine close at hand. One of them you can see is undergoing dialysis. But each of them have their eyes covered with both of their hands. So you can see that those who are sitting down have buried their face into their hands so that their eyes are fully covered. And those who are lying down either have one arm across their face so that their face is fully buried in the crook of their arm, or they have both of their hands over the top of their face. All of them are in some way trying to keep their eyes covered. Those who can't manage to get their hands to their eyes for whatever reason have something covering their eyes. Some piece of fabric, a loose hospital gown, something.
We have...
And she gestures you over to one of the cubby holes that just has a bed. She says, hop up.
Great.
And she looks you over, and she grabs some bandages and some burn gel from the supply on the table there. As she pulls away, she gently pushes one of the boxes underneath the heat lamps so that it's a little more central to the heat lamp. and comes back over to you. You've got a long gash here along the neck, and you've got a bad burn on your face.
Yeah, it doesn't feel great, really.
Okay, I'm going to take this out. Is that all right?
Yeah.
And she pulls at the communications device, pops it out of your ear.
Even that hurts.
I'm sorry. She
Where
takes
did she put it?
she puts it down on the floor next to her.
So, how long have you been here
And
for?
then she takes some antiseptic soothing gel and starts applying it to the burn on your face. We're going to look after this burn first, okay?
Oh, you didn't even warn me. That hurts. That
Don't
doesn't
worry,
feel good.
It'll feel much better shortly.
You know, Sarah, you and I, like I said, got to know each other. Gotten to know each other, really.
I'm a horny mofo.
No, that's not even it. No.
Are you sure?
I swear. You know, I really can light people on fire. It's really cool.
You can light people on fire.
All with my mind.
Are you? And she applies a bandage to that section of your face and carefully tapes it around. You're going to look like a bit of a mummy for a little while. That'll keep your face protected while the skin heals, and hopefully you won't have a scar.
You know,
what's that? Oh, it's some kind of mummy. Kill it.
You know, I lit a mummy on fire once.
You lit a mummy on fire.
Yeah.
What a
And was she angry?
I think it was a he. I don't... Do mummies have genders?
Almost all mummies have a specific gender.
I don't think this one did, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this one was walking. I came here with my little squad. I don't really know. They kind of take me places. I think there was something they were just coming to check out. I think one of them wanted the security position.
Makes it sound like we have
security position. She looks at the gash along your neck. This is going to need stitches. She steps over towards the table and comes back with some more materials. Do you have any willpower points?
Do you have any threes?
I have
no. So
I thought he was going to ask if he had insurance.
roll.
Do you have any insurance?
Roll the single die and have the result.
You're just gonna
I rolled
die.
a 4.
So you
I
needed
have-
two.
No, he rolled
8.
8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
4.
Okay. You hear a slight crunching from the ground as she walks past. Back to you with a needle.
Shit, she stepped on it.
Oh, you stepped on my earpiece.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sure you can get another. Is it for, like, phones? Bluetooth?
Yeah, I really needed that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If I need to talk to my parents, I can't.
Well, don't worry. We'll get you another somewhere. Here, hold still, okay?
Where, Sarah?
Just take it easy. I'm going to stitch you up now, so you need to keep your face still.
Fine.
Okay, and don't move too much. Okay? This is really important. If the needle slips, you will end up with another hole in your face.
What, can I see the needle? What's going on here?
It's a needle.
Uh-oh, Gus is afraid of needles.
It's about 1 inch long. It has what looks like really sturdy surgical threads looped through it. It's exactly what you would expect for repairing a long gash that is bleeding freely.
I don't know any better.
Is it one of those hook
Alright.
doors?
At the end,
Yeah.
where it's easier to kind of...
No, it's not meant for a mattress stitch. It's meant for a straight stitch.
Alright, go ahead.
She pulls it gently through your neck, pulling the ends of the flesh taut, and she does it very quickly and like she's done this hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times as she pulls it up and through.
What color's the thread?
It is black.
Great.
So as she's pulling her way up through the skin of your neck, she says, "You know, I don't think your friends are normal or particularly bright."
Sarah, I've told you I can light
Wow,
people on
I hate this
fire.
woman.
And you think they're not normal.
Well,
What makes them not normal?
for one thing,
This woman probably has never even heard of Oxford.
This is the conversation you have to yourself.
Literally the second she closed the door.
She probably hasn't heard of Oxford.
She probably doesn't have a degree. She probably doesn't have a PhD.
She probably
just
doesn't have
to
even
himself.
2 PhDs.
he doesn't have a
She's
single
probably just
thought.
telling that guy right now, blah, blah, blah. They don't seem too bright, do they?
She's got to be some kind of glorified vet.
What do you guys think? Oh, you don't know anything. She's stupid.
Pulls the needle through your skin and says, well, for one thing, they're clearly aware of incursions, but they haven't figured out what the nature of this incursion is, and it really should be perfectly obvious. And she pulls
I'm sorry?
the
You're
thread the thread through her neck one last time, and then starts on the down stitch.
What?
And works her way back down.
I mean, it is obvious, right? But what is so obvious about it? I don't.
Well, when you're seeing the evidence all around you, and the people suffering the obvious symptoms of an invasion,
Oh, yeah.
then you can't really mistake it for anything else, can you?
But I mean, like how would you break it to them?
Careful,
You know?
you're moving.
Oh,
Stay still.
how'd you break the news to them? How would you tell it to them?
Well, that's a really good question. She ties off the knot.
I mean, it's only fair if they don't know. I mean,
So-
teach them, right?
So this isn't self-dissolving. Okay, so you're going to need to have someone come in and remove this for you, okay? So you're going to need to come back at some point, either to the hospital or to your family doctor.
I'll get it figured out.
She snips it off, puts the needle down. I think I would probably show them how the incursion is happening and how it's being sustained. And she walks over to the table where the open plastic bins are sitting under the
She's
heat
not on
lamps.
purpose.
Yeah.
Obviously.
And she
We're,
pulls
we're dead.
she pulls something out of the containers. You hear sort of a splish sound, and her hands drip sort of a greenish, briny slime. And she brings back these leathery-looking eggs. They're very small, like jelly bean size. And she brings back a handful of them. And she says, "Oh, this is the egg state, obviously.
Oh, it's like tapioca, kinda.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want to eat these
Oh,
because they can survive the hydrochloric acid in your stomach. And if they get into your gastric tract, they'll probably burst their way out. It would be really rather unpleasant.
So, like,
Stop.
what's in those?
Well, now that we've taken them out from the heat,
No.
you can see for yourself." And she just sort of blows gently on them. And the eggs unfurl and realize they're not eggs at all, but something drawn really tightly on itself. And the leathery sections break out into 8 little legs. And one of them stands up, and a tiny single eyeball opens on its back. It looks like a human eye. And
That's
it
so
looks up
weird.
at you, and then it blinks, and then it closes again, and sort of furls in on itself like a spider curling in when it's fallen from its web. She blows on them. "Come on now, don't be afraid."
So, did you, like, harvest those from the people, or...
"Oh no, quite the opposite." And she lifts one of the little eggs. She says, "They only really grow properly inside of a nice, warm, comfortable environment. They need darkness and they need heat. And they feed on data, on information. They need the flow of active thoughts. So we feed them on the host's minds." And she says, "This is small enough to enter through the ear canal. So normally we make a small incision in the eardrum and we place it through. And once it's found itself in a comfortable environment, it unfurls and makes a connection to the appropriate neurons. And she looks over at some of the other patients who are in this room who are covering their eyes. Eventually, it makes its way to the highest bandwidth connection of the brain. Of course, it has to displace the soft tissue materials that are there first.
That
Do you,
doesn't
do you know what the highest bandwidth connection in the brain is?
doesn't sound pleasant. And I can only imagine.
Oh, well, no need to imagine.
Oh, I know.
It's the soft tissue of the eyes, of course. And,
Yep.
and the direct connection, the neural optics.
Oh, yeah, yep, that tissue, yep, the bandwidth, yep.
So it's very uncomfortable to start. And she looks over at you and she blinks a couple of times, but you get used to it.
Why would people start, though?
Usually they don't want to, but I mean, since they've come to the hospital anyways, they're in a state where they're not ready to defend
I
themselves.
want to punch Sarah in the
Knew
face.
it. I knew it.
Like literally, I want to punch Sarah in the face.
All right, make an overcome roll.
Okay. Overpower.
Overpower, rather, yes.
Hey.
I rolled a 9 and a 6.
A 9 and a 6? Okay. Sarah dodges you much faster than you would have expected her to.
Chris, fuck you.
She falls to her knees as you go for her eyes, and then, as though she were an acrobat, she falls to her knees and then jumps straight back onto her feet and pushes you back
But
onto the
she's
bed.
a nurse, not an acrobat.
She seems much stronger than she ought to be as she pushes you down onto the bed. Don't worry, it only hurts at the start. We'll come back to you.
Are we rewinding time, like, because Gus just left with Sarah?
Exactly.
Okay.
So the two security guards who are in here are giving you the long glare with associated paperwork again, saying that you guys are trouble and we are really pissed off that we have to do this because we were hoping for a quiet shift.
Oh.
Oh no, this was.
Out of character?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Two things. One, is one of the security guards one that we recognize?
No, neither of them are the older fellow that you met earlier.
Okay, and
Oh, no.
two, did Sarah have a name tag that I would have noticed?
She did. You saw that very similar to the little plastic holder that you had. She had one like that too. So in character, the security guards are all watching you. Do you all sit quietly for the next 30 seconds to a minute?
Imagine closer to the door.
Keel doesn't do anything
What?
intimidating.
Fighting's not
Do
really.
they have
his
like? Do they have? Are they armed at all?
Batons or tasers?
He makes the comment about her not knowing Oxford and stuff.
The two security guards have the collapsible night baton style.
Right.
And honestly, they actually look like they have better armor than most cops do. They look like maybe they purchased it themselves from some sort of military surplus.
Contractors?
Or they're hired out from somewhere else because whatever it is they're wearing, they look like they know how to use it and they're wearing it well. But they don't have guns.
But they have telescoping batons.
Yes.
Okay.
They're not carrying guns, so it's clear that they're not peace
Those
officers.
hurt.
Well, gentlemen, seems we've found ourselves in kind of an odd situation here.
One of the security guards looks at the two wiry tech guys and says, "Can you do anything with this?" And he points at the rather holy machine. One of the tech just sort of gives him a wide-eyed look and shakes his head, and the other tech puts one hand, one palm to his face, and says, "I put it on for Gigi."
I honestly don't know what happened here. As I'm talking, I'm kind of trying to inch my way towards one of the knives that are on the ground that is like still folded.
The other security officer notices you moving, puts his hands on the baton and pulls off the catch that's keeping it in place. "I wish you wouldn't do that, sir."
I just dropped something over there. I was gonna go pick it up.
"That's fine. You can just stand right there if you don't mind. And then everybody can be just safe and comfortable."
I don't really feel safe and comfortable without a chair.
Okay. So why don't you come over here, and I'll put you in the care of my fellow security guard, and when the other security guards arrive, we'll find you a chair.
Well, actually, we were looking for a security guard.
Are you continuing to inch as you talk to him?
Yes.
He pulls out his baton. "Sir, I wish you would stop."
Then as he's edging forward, I'm going back.
Okay. The other security guard puts his eyes on you, does the same thing with the baton, pulls it out. "Are we going to have to have a situation, sirs?"
Well, does the one facing me have a name tag on him?
Yeah, he does.
Russell.
It says Jim.
Oh.
Jim Stauffer.
Well, Jim, I don't know what we did to cause this situation to escalate, but I'm just going to go over here and grab the item that I dropped on the floor. I'm sorry if we have offended you or have done something.
You haven't
to...
offended me, sir. I'm giving you a direct command at this point, and I'd like you to acknowledge it.
Nobody
Not
gives
move.
them commands except for me.
The other security guard looks at you. You're both under our custody at the moment.
Mr. Day, Mr. Rains, you're not making the situation any better.
Not making it any worse.
One of the security guard looks at his watch. Slow tonight.
So
You hear some footsteps out in the hallway. Oh, maybe that's them.
one of the security guard goes to the door. The one that was watching you is now clearly distracted as he goes to the door to see if it's the other security guards.
The door that I was edging towards?
The door that leads out into the hallway beyond the technician's
You have
door.
a serious security breach within your own facility, gentlemen. Someone has tampered with the MRI safety protocols.
The other security guard who was watching him looks at you sideways. Uh-huh.
We have physical evidence, and I motion towards Day. We have physical evidence
Absolutely.
that there has been tampering going on in this MRI facility, and possibly in the other facility as well.
Okay. And?
Isn't that illegal, sir?
Sure, but you know what else is illegal? Is putting holes in expensive MRI machines.
We did not cause this damage to the MRI machine.
Well, that won't be for us to decide. That'll be for the cops to sort out. Looks at the other security guard. And he sort of holds up his hand. And the other security guard who's at the technician's door looks out.
You are standing right here with evidence that could put dangerous criminals away in prison. We have... motion to come... Again, we have the names of the culprits, in fact.
I'm just keeping it in my pocket because I don't want to give anything away.
The other security guard looks at you and sort of rubs his brow with the hand that's not holding the collapsible baton. Alright, so you're saying somebody sabotaged the MRI machine, that's why it's suddenly full of holes?
Precisely.
Who?
While they're distracted, am I able to reach the knife?
Sure.
Okay. I got 2 knives, one for each hand.
Dr. Irving, for one. Knife hands.
Dr. Irving sabotaged his own MRI machine.
Well, I mean, I didn't have to solve a damn binary puzzle for nothing. It's a complicated story. Dr. Irving and Dr. Morell kind of fucked shit up over here. You press that, well, before any of that, kind of gestures to the machine, before any of that happened, they tampered with the safety protocols.
So...
Linux is a bitch, you wouldn't understand.
He looks down for a moment, he looks back up. So let me get this straight. Well-respected doctors who work at the hospital are the ones who are responsible for the MRI machine going to hell, not you random guys who we just found in the room with the broken MRI machine.
Wouldn't you suspect people in power? No, maybe you wouldn't. They pay you.
Alright, so I'm glad that you're just a bunch of hopeless crazies, because I always thought this was going to get serious.
So I pop back up after grabbing my knife. One question I do have: how did we appear in this room?
Oh, if I know, how did you appear in this room?
I don't
Were
know.
you in here before and the machine was just suddenly broken?
You were in here before and the machine was suddenly broken.
I'm saying, were you in here before and the machine was not broken, and then we appeared and it was?
He gives you another long look. I think you've got the wrong idea about how this works. You're the guys in trouble answering our questions, and we're the guys with the batons who tell you to shut up and sit down.
Maybe you should just think about it for more than 10 seconds.
Why don't you go over into that corner and be a good little boy?
And I slink over to the other... towards the other door that the other security guard is not. And I go and try to pull the door.
And one of the security guard comes over to you and brings his baton down on you. He does it on your arm, however, not on your neck. Obviously not trying to kill you or give you a knockdown blow.
Just like a fuck
and,
off.
and he does it fairly lightly,
Yeah.
rather than cause any pain or break your
Like
arm,
a-
which
like
the
a
batons are
weapon.
very capable
Yes.
of. He sort of gives you a wrap along the wrist.
Ow.
But it's hard enough that it makes it clear that he could have broken your wrist if he wanted to.
That fucking hurt.
In the corner, over there, he points with a stick.
The opposite corner? Where the knife is?
Yeah, but he doesn't know that there's a knife down there.
Okay, so then I head over to the opposite corner and pretend to trip over my own feet in order to pick up the other knife.
Okay. Well, if you can manage to sit down without spraining yourself, that would be great.
And
I
I
would.
slip
You
the
too,
other...
if you would join him?
Yes, of course. I immediately walk over.
I pocket the other
Jim,
knife.
I
Are
hate
they coming or not?
Jim.
And the other security guard sort of like
Jim.
shrugs his shoulders again. I'll get on the radio. Just give me a moment. He steps
Jim.
outside of the room for a moment. Jim is still here. Yes.
I hate to say it, but what I was actually looking for, and I grabbed the key card holder, is I lost my key card.
Why do you have one of those?
Why do you think I have one of those?
That isn't an answer. Try again.
No, that is an answer. You're giving a stupid question.
Give that to me.
Clearly he
No.
works here.
He smacks your wrist with the baton lightly, just sort of gesture of authority and says,
Well, that was rather uncalled for. Why did you do that?
Mr. Raines is a newly joined member of your security staff. In fact, that is one of the reasons we were here tonight, was for him to join your lovely establishment. Unfortunately, in his rather amateurish ways, he has misplaced his card.
your stories are getting weirder all the time, and although I find it really entertaining, I'm not buying it. Over there, please.
What other reason would he have to have a security card holder?
I don't know, is there some other facility in the hospital that you ruined tonight? Corner, please. He hits a button on a little walkie-talkie he's got on his belt. Stan, are they there yet?
Your security seems rather inept.
I don't know. Looks at you, gives you a long stare. You don't seem like these other two. You're too thin.
I was hoping you would say incredibly intelligent, but I'll go with thin for now.
You seem kind of like doctors around here, eggheads. What are you doing with these two roughnecks?
As we were trying to explain to you,
I didn't ask you.
I have experience with this facility, and I was showing Mr. Raines around on his inaugural night as a new member of the security force. Isn't that right, Mr. Raines?
Yeah, and that's kind of when, unfortunately, I thought the security card that I had slipped through the doors into here.
And it just so happens by circumstance, I guess, that on this first night as a security guard, we uncover some kind of massive conspiracy within the hospital.
Mr. Day is my second cousin. Mother's side.
I don't see him much.
Now, Jim, we've done nothing to provoke this aggression towards us, nor this escalation.
So this isn't
that you've
aggression. I can show you aggression.
You already hit me. Well, the other guy did.
Listen, gentlemen. I take home just above minimum wage. I was looking forward to a quiet shift.
It's already sad.
If you can all just shut up and sit down, we can all work this out peaceably.
had. Have you heard from your partner outside yet?
Stan! Jim calls out for Stan one last time, and then looks around the room, looks at the two technicians. Keep an eye on them over this side of the room, pulls them to one side of the room.
Right.
Make sure that you guys are all on your side of the room. Okay. I'm going to be right back. If I come back and you're missing, we're calling the cops, and things get really nasty, so I suggest you all stay here.
Got it, Jim.
Good, good. And he walks out of the room.
He won't be coming back.
I followed him.
I'd like you to roll awareness, because you're getting a lot of mileage out of that. Let's see how you do.
5.
Jim's body comes rushing back through.
Amazing.
Backwards, not on his feet.
Oh.
And he slams into you, and you both go slamming into the wall. There's the thud of impact as your back hits, and a squelching, because Jim is missing his head and a large part of his spinal column, it seems, and you got hit by a nice big sack of meat. So you take 1 damage, and the technicians start to scream as something massive with a dark hand, it sort of gleams like a metal or plastic, a glossy plastic, pulls open the door, and something sort of slowly shoulders its way in. The overall appearance of this thing is wrong. It's just a sense of alienness to it, in the shapes not fitting together quite right.
Odd proportions all around.
It's not humanoid proportions. It has 2 arms, but the arms sort of connect together and go back out, and there's lots of tiny little useless arms that seem to come off of it at odd angles, and semi-arms that are half-formed with the fingers all fused together. The legs that it comes in on are thick pseudopods like the bottom of a snail, but it has 2 of them, and it slops one side of its form forward and the other side forward as it comes through the door. And it doesn't have any head, just a massive, overly muscled torso to which the rest of it connects. It pulls the door open in such a way that you get a strong sense that door will never shut again.
Nice.
and slowly schlups its way into the room, trailing some sort of deep ochre slime and blood. The two technicians are closest to this thing. You're the next closest, and then the two of you.
Daniel? 6, a 9, and 8.
It's a Dracula.
This is something that you're familiar with existing, although it doesn't have a proper name because it takes a different sort of shape depending on who has put it together.
Yes.
It's a flesh golem, but it's a grown flesh golem. So there's two ways of making a flesh golem that Keel is aware of. One is by stitching together and reanimating existing corpse pieces.
Yes.
And the other is by creating a framework on which muscle and flesh will grow, and then feeding it with energy and with materials necessary so that the flesh grows in more or less the pattern that you desire. It enervates itself along the form of the skeleton that you create, and you can make it out of just about anything, and takes shape and then can be controlled by whomever has created it.
Right.
Mentally. So whoever is controlling it needs to be actively giving it its commands, but can do so from a remote location.
When connection is severed, or do you not know that far? Sorry.
The instances you're most familiar with are in the cases of what's called voodoo zombies,
Of course.
where they're not proper zombies in that they're not infectious the way that zombification normally is, but instead they are frameworks of, in the Caribbean from which this voodoo tradition arose, and Africa, frameworks of wood,
Yes.
sometimes of thinly coiled pieces of wood, and sometimes solid beams around which the flesh is grown.
Yes.
And sometimes in the shape of a man, but whoever put this flesh golem together, you can tell, was something of a sloppy amateur, because it is grown all over the place and poorly. The limbs are not well defined.
Yes.
The shape of it looks like it was supposed to be vaguely humanoid, but instead it's grown badly.
Prevention methods or disruption methods?
Massive amounts of damage will kill it.
Right.
If you slice it in half, for instance, it will die. If you slice off major limbs, it will bleed. But
You set it on fire.
But it can regenerate fairly quickly. Fire is good for it. Freezing is good for it.
Yes.
And you can also cut it off from its remotes, if you know how.
If you know how and who it's contacting and how. And
Stab.
Keel knows a ritual for cutting it off from its commands, from whoever is giving it mental commands. It requires 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Yeah.
I don't think you
And,
have
and,
30
and,
minutes.
and a complex diagram.
Okay, well, so I'll say some of that in character then. Fascinating. It's a flesh golem, gentlemen. I haven't seen one of those up close for several years now.
Can you say this while we're trying to escape here?
The flesh golem has reached the first of the technicians who, rather than try and run or do anything, just fell to his knees in complete horror and surprise and is covering his head. It reaches down at one of its massive arms and just sort of squeezes and pulls. And the top part of this person comes off. And you can see why Jim lost his head. Whatever it is, it moves slow, but it's ridiculously strong.
Keel's frozen in fascination. Incredible strength and
Push Keel.
So the door that it came through was the door leading back into the hallway to the technician's booth, but the MRI door, right, the entrance to the MRI, is still behind where the other technician is and the security guards were. So on that side of the room. You are closest to it. You're within a couple of feet of it. You've managed to push Jim's squelchy body off of you by this point.
As I'm doing that, am I able to grab his pass?
Yes. Yes, you are.
Okay.
You overcome your innate disgust and grab his pass and add it to
Well,
your
I've
belt
probably
loop.
seen this before. Not to this.
Not this
gruesome
specific-
and intense extent, but
Yes, not this very specific instance, but you have seen death before as a man of the army.
Mhm.
And gruesome death at that. The rest of the creature looks over at the other technician and then at you. It doesn't have any eyes or face or head, so it's hard to tell, but you can see where its center torso seems to be centered.
Shifting, right.
And then it shifts sort of towards the two of you. You get the sense that it can't actually see you, but it seems to be using some sort of sense to know what's in the room.
Fascinating. Whoever is controlling is probably able to sense us.
Oh my fucking god. And I throw one of the closed knives over near the other technician.
The creature looks
Infatuates
over,
away.
turns its whole torso away from you towards the sound and towards the other technician. The other technician sort of gives a whimpering sob and gets on his feet and starts running for the MRI door. The thing schlops after him. He comes to the MRI door where the guy is fighting with the handle as he pulls it open. Mm-hmm. He manages to make it through, but the creature's long arm follows him. Mm-hmm. And although it moves slow, it moves faster than someone trying to run in a panic. And it grabs his leg, and the guy falls over on his face. And he starts pulling him back.
As that's happening, can I usher Keel over to the other door that Rains went through?
Absolutely. The creature doesn't seem to notice you. When it's focused on one prey, it doesn't seem like it's paying attention.
Okay. Then as we're passing over the body, can I grab his baton?
Yes.
Awesome. I have a baton.
Limited mental acuity, obviously. He can only focus on one target at a time.
He also doesn't have a head.
There's some squirting sounds, and you are showered a little bit with blood as a lake comes up in the creature's hands. It drops it on itself, and it hits the black glossy mass and seems to fall into the creature. And then it reaches back out for the rest of the technician as he screams and bleeds out.
I grab the doctor.
Wait. I want to hear him go first.
And start dragging him out.
Fascinating. It must be built out. Actually, he's doing this as if he must be thinking about, when are you taking me?
I'm doing research. Stop it.
The creature continues to do something rather terrible that involves a lot of screaming until suddenly the screaming stops as you exit the room. So what are the three of you up to right now?
Doctor.
Leaving.
Doctor, take this knife.
Yes, okay, fine.
Run.
Okay. Running where?
Second floor. It's the only place I can think we can go. We haven't been yet.
Very well, Mr. Day. Knives will be very good. He's already running.
Wait, we have a security card. We can go downstairs into the basement.
I was just about to say that, Apollo. I can also make the suggestion we can try and scope out the security office, see if we can get some more info.
Not the time for too much discussion, I think.
There's not going to be any guns. Shit. Security office, why not? We might be able to pass through the ER and pick up the kid.
By all means, lead the way.
Okay, so as you run this way, you're coming across this hallway,
yes,
and you can hear sounds coming from still inside the MRI hallway. It just sounds like sort of a pounding, slopping sound, like something heavy is moving.
As long as he doesn't break through the wall like a Kool-Aid man, we're good.
Stop giving him ideas.
Yeah, it's too, now you've screwed us over.
Now he literally jumped. Oh yeah, there he is.
Oh yeah. Anyways, and you hear that coming from this hallway, and it sounds pretty close to the wall.
Anyways, the Kool-Aid man's from my
but
next
it's
arc.
not there yet.
Please don't spoil.
And as you run past this hallway towards the security room, you're looking down the ER hallway there with all those people who are suffering and struggling and in pain. The security room has two doors. You saw one on this side, but it was pretty heavily barred because it's one of the outward-facing doors. It has, a little tiny glass window in it that had a mesh lattice works behind it. This side, though, doesn't seem to be quite so heavy-duty. It's a single metal door, no window, but it has just a regular handle on it. Looks like maybe you could force it.
Does it have like a pass?
It does not have a pass thing. It has an old-fashioned key handle from this one.
Apollo does a quick scan of the ER and doesn't see anything overtly obvious or anything. No jumping out of the way ladies or whatever.
ER?
So he's gonna...
You've gone all the way up here to look in the ER?
Well, we're here,
so the
correct?
security's down here, right. So it's one room that's closed off like this. Then there's the triage desk area.
Right.
That's
so,
like that.
yeah.
And then the ER is over here.
So he does a quick scan, doesn't see, and he says, "You two figure out the door. I'm gonna go see if I can find a kid."
Okay. All right. Yeah, I tried the door.
And I go and
The door is
my
pretty firmly locked, so I'm going to come back to you two now.
Yeah.
So the door is pretty firmly locked, but there's a little bit of give. It feels like just sort of an inside door with a regular barrel lock.
Okay. I take a step back and try and door kick it.
Door kicking. All right, let's have some
Achieve.
achieve.
Yeah.
6.
That's plenty. You break the lock. The metal
Not the
itself.
door frame, the lock itself?
Well, the metal itself is fine, and you take the little strain relief, the striker
pad?
plate,
Yeah.
off of the door. The wood comes loose.
How
Okay.
useless.
And then I open the door. Well, I open enough so I can like, scope out the insides.
Good thinking.
Scoop out the insides.
In the security office are 4 other security officers,
Oh.
all having like sort of a chat. There's a game of cards in front of them. They all have a cup of something near at hand, and they all look at you. Like they all look at the broken door as you peek your head through. 3 out of the 4 of them give you a long, slow blink.
Hey guys, sorry. Door was kind of ajar.
They all stand up and come at you with the door, pulling out their weapons.
Whoa! Hold on. I'm the new security guard.
Get on the floor, sir.
We have a security breach in process.
Yes, I can see that. Stand aside, sir. On the floor!
Are being eaten.
Stand on the floor!
I close the door. I guess meet up with a ball.
Okay, let's come back to you two.
Oh,
Start with
boy.
you, I
So
guess.
when she does she come at me?
No, but she pushes you down and keeps her hand on your chest, and her other hand is holding, of course.
All right.
Which
Is I
means-
want to push her off just enough so she relieves the pressure on my chest, and I want to roll backwards on this bed so I could kind of be on my knees and then stand up.
Okay.
I pretty much want to get space and then kind of roll backwards.
Okay. So there's not much space to be had. If you roll backwards, you're going to smack your head against...
But you said, like, because the table's this way.
Yeah. So this is the cubbyhole space, basically. You've got this much width and this much length.
Okay.
You're on the bed, so when you're on the bed, your feet are almost at the edge of the cubbyhole, your head's right there at the other end, and the curtain comes right behind you over here.
Okay,
No,
well, can I at
space.
least push her off and then jump on the bed?
Yes, so what you can
Great.
try and do is either you can push her off, or you can try and roll out from under her hand. Like you can try and just sort of move her hand aside so you can roll off the bed. Or you can try and push her out of the cubbyhole. So
Those
that you
are
have
two
enough
different
space
rolls,
to get
though.
off.
Yeah.
They are. So you can do one or the other, or even both.
Well, yeah, I'll push her out of the cubbyhole.
Okay,
I'll go
then
for
let's
that.
have an overpower roll.
7 and a 2. It was gonna land 10 and then bounce.
20 dice. No.
That's why you shouldn't use percentile dice.
It's literally the same thing.
You manage this time.
Hey!
From your desperation, perhaps, comes an unexpected strength, and you grab her wrist and moves both of your hands on her one arm as she keeps a ramrod straight on your chest to push her up and back.
Great.
And she stumbles a couple of steps backwards out of the cubbyhole.
How much?
And she puts herself sort of protectively around the things that she's holding.
How much room do I have above and to my sides? Like are these curtains hanging from the ceiling?
Yeah, so very little room. If you stood, you would have to be kneeling in order to not hit the ceiling with your head.
And what's the ceiling made out of?
Like if you stood on the bed, I mean. If you stand up normally, obviously you've got about 2 feet.
Yes,
worth
yes. What's the ceiling? Like it's made out of those tiles, I guess. Square tiles.
That's right. It's made out of that
Drop ceiling?
soft pipe drop
Yes.
ceiling material.
Whoa! You are not putting those in my ears, Sarah. You're not doing this. Not to me, okay?
Are you sure? It would be enlightening.
No, it would not.
Like I said, it only hurts at the start. I can promise you that.
Or I can talk to my guardian and see where that goes.
I feel like you might disapprove. They
Well,
don't
I
understand.
do. So
I see. Well,
yeah.
if you really don't want to, I guess I can't do anything to force you. You're free to go.
You're lying. You've got to be lying. There's no way you're serious.
She gives you a gentle little smile. I'm lying.
I throw my palm highlight at her.
Okay.
That's it.
That does ego damage.
So
She ducks the palm pilot,
Oh!
but she is distracted, obviously, because she spent her time ducking the palm pilot.
Okay.
So she watches it fly by from a duck down position,
not sure what it was you had thrown at her.
As she ducks and looks past, I want to run past these curtains this way towards the door.
Towards the door. Okay.
Yes.
I want you to...
Mind you, I have agility and dexterity.
I want you to roll precision.
I only got a 6.
You make it past her, but she grabs onto your heel as you run past, and you get pulled down to your knees.
Okay.
And she uses the motion of your falling to sort of propel herself. She pushes off of your heel to propel herself back to her own feet, and rushes over to you to grab you by the back of the neck.
Can I now roll an agility?
Yes.
Roll? Okay.
She's trying to get you.
I rolled a 9 and a 3. You said I
Yeah,
succeeded.
you already said, and you succeeded. But she grabbed you, the heel of your foot, and pushed herself to her feet, and went to grab the nape of your neck. But you managed to succeed in evading her. You roll out and come back to your feet. So you're both standing on your feet, and you're facing her, and she's facing you.
But I'm
But it's
at
her
the
turn.
door. The door's at my back, and she's in front of me.
Right. It's another 30 feet to run to get to the door.
Great. I start backing away. This was Sarah. I had a blast. I really appreciate the tea. I really do. But you get it. I've got to go.
I don't think you do. And she runs at you.
I run away.
Apollo comes through the door in the ER looking for you.
She's so evil, dude. And I'm making my way through the door.
Okay, so you end up on your back. You slap the back of your head against the hard tile floor as you go.
4 damage dead.
and you take 1 damage
It literally-
and leave a little trail of blood.
Okay, then I would have been just holding the door open and like standing out of the way.
So you
as
see
fast as I
him. You
could.
see him coming at you, and you step back, still holding the door open, and he slides, hits his head. You hear the thump, and I assume wince, and he slides such that his body is most of the way through the doorway.
Okay.
And you hear me say, "She's evil, dude."
All right,
And
kid.
maybe also ouch.
Can I grab him by the leg and just kind of pull him through?
Sure, that doesn't require any roll.
Okay.
The nurse that you saw take him away to be treated is running at you full tilt.
Is it a push bar door?
It has a handle on this side, a metal loop handle on this side, and it's a escape bar push on the inside, and
Okay.
it pulls out this way.
So
she has to push. You
It'll
have
push
to pull.
towards
It was
you.
pulling towards you.
You pull a bar, and she pushes a push.
okay.
Right.
Then
Think of something quick. She's running at
Yeah.
Yeah.
then
Do the
fine.
fingers
Then I would have.
Yeah, do
I
the
would have
fingers,
just. I
do the
would have
fingers.
just
Don't
barred the door
overthink it.
and motioned to the
you're-
kid to get up.
You're shoving your shoulder against the door as you
Yeah.
close it?
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to roll overpower then.
Nope.
How do you not have overpowered?
Because I had an achieve.
Why? You're a military man.
I'm
No,
not
he's a
a military
military
man.
man.
Yeah, clearly.
Oh, it's fine.
I got a 3.
You got a botch.
She slams the other side of the door and you hear cursing, but you hold the door against her.
Nice.
You hear her scrabble at the door for a moment, and then you hear steps going away.
As I'm on my back, he's there, kind of behind me. I kind of look at him as he's barring the door. Dude, she's got evil spider babies.
Fill me in while we.
So
Shut up.
weird.
Fill me in while we get the other guys. Get up.
Surprisingly quick, I get up and look at him, dude. And I start backing away, back jogging.
You get a terrible
Yeah.
head rush considering you just smacked your face.
spider
on the floor.
babies in your ears, eat your eyes, become your eyes. Super weird.
So as he's saying that, I'm holding the door, I'm losing my focus a little bit, thinking that was real.
eat your eyes and become your eyes. It's crazy.
Okay.
So you guys, I assume, are running for the stairwell where the two of them already are.
Yeah. Move, we're
because
going downstairs
They've come
with the
back
key
from
card.
the security door.
Yes.
So as you're running down this hallway where they opened the security door, the security guards all start piling out.
Because I start backpedaling.
So you
and
two are going this way.
Oh.
Security guards come out here,
We're
and the
coming
two
this
of
way.
them
Away
are
from the security
running
guards.
back this way towards the stairwell.
And then
So you see the security guard, and you see a
towards the
Gus
stairwell.
slide out, and you're like, oh.
and then you see the security guards piling out of the broken door.
Are they chasing
and you're
them?
like, oh. Yeah, they're heading in their direction.
Do we see them, or
There's
do we
a
just see the
stairwell.
security guards?
The first 3 run immediately after them. The 4th one is about to follow, and he happens to glance down the hallway and sees the 2 of you running in that direction.
As he turns around and sees me, I so try to nonchalantly just stop and start walking, and like genuinely just as I'm running, I just stop and
I blow past
I
him.
look at him and I give him a high.
He looks at you, but it looks like he's not quite sure what's going on or why you should be running and whether he should stop you. And looks at the other guy. You're bleeding. You okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna go talk
that
to
guy
the
hurt
nurse. No, that guy. He's
Bathroom.
my uncle. Yeah, gotta
You
go.
scream bathroom as you run past?
Bathroom.
I'm gonna go. Nurse Sarah.
Down the hallway.
Working on it.
Yeah, I just
Wow.
gotta go talk to the nurse and get this. I'll be
How are we
fine.
associated
Okay.
with these two?
Okay. And the guy is just like at a loss.
You
for what's
should
going
go
on.
help your buddies, man.
Okay, he runs off.
Damn it.
I follow him.
Okay, so they're all running towards you at the stairwell.
Great.
Where do
I
you
should do that if I ever
follow?
get. I should do that if I
What,
ever
the,
get
the
mugged.
stairwell?
Bathroom.
Well, they're following you wherever you're going.
trying to
They're
mug
looking
you,
for
come
you
back.
because you just broke the door open to the security office.
Oh, fine. Then I blow past him and I radio, kid, go check the security office now that it's empty.
I've been following the one security guard.
Well, I blew
And
past
I
him.
don't have my thing.
I don't know that, and I blew past him.
Yeah.
Right, so
Holy
between
crap.
you, who blew past the one security guard, and the 2 of them, is the other 3 security guards who are looking angry and confused. And also blinking maybe a little too much. And the one
Yep.
who looked at you looked completely normal. He didn't give you that strange blinking.
So I'm following them down the stairwell, I guess.
So I blew past him.
So there's the one guy who you blew past. There's
Yes.
3 security
other three
guards
guys are
all
standing over
here.
there.
There's
Yep.
the 2 of them at the stairwell
Stairwell.
door.
Yeah.
We go.
Based on what they do, I have to go react.
How far behind are the security guards?
They are a good half a minute behind you. Like, they took some time to gather their thoughts and actually follow you.
Yeah.
So you guys have a half minute
So-
to act.
so
on
we
it.
keep our
we,
pace,
we,
okay.
we go on the stairwell and close the door.
Yeah. Okay.
Make it look like we never went through there.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, so
Don't
they
slip in,
wouldn't.
push
I
it
want-
forward,
I
just
want you-
stand there.
I want one of you, whoever's best at it, to roll finesse.
That would be me. Okay.
8 and a 9.
Yeah.
Keel quickly pushes through as you open the door. You gently and carefully place the door back into position, and you hear the security guards thunder past.
Followed by me.
There's a few beats, and you hear somebody else walk up to the door, and you hear somebody else run past going, bathrooms down the hallway and to the left. And then he keeps running.
Follow. Stairwell. First stairwell we were going down.
I skid to a halt and go, what?
Get to the stairwell we were going down. You know the one.
Gotcha. And I turn around and I head back in that direction. Do I pass by that security guard then?
The security guards already run past you, right? That's why they heard him go past you.
Yeah.
So
In
as
Canadian dollars.
so, I guess you start walking
Don't be
back
like
to the
that.
stairwell. I walk around the corner very, very nonchalantly, very chill, just scoping it out. I guess. And
Well,
I
you-
see you, or
You don't know where me and Keel are.
no, I know. I walk around this corner though, because that's where I see literally everyone
Yeah,
go.
so
Fine.
So I assume.
Keel and Reigns are inside
Yes.
the stairwell already,
Yep.
but August is stopped. Sorry, Apollo has stopped outside.
Right.
And I come around the corner.
Did you check out the security office like I said?
Dude, I forgot to tell you, Spider Bitch popped my earbud.
Apollo takes a second to internalize spider bitch.
I told you,
Spider bitch.
has spider babies, puts them in your ear, and they eat your eye. And then they become your eyes.
Okay,
It's-
this isn't just some dumb comic book thing. This is real. Well, real.
Oh, fuck you, old
No,
man.
no. I'm making sure you hit your head.
No shit, it's real.
Fuck.
Hey guys.
Where did the other two go?
Any time now, you two can.
Oh,
get to
right.
the stairwell.
Stairwell, and I knock on the.
Inside is a monster. It's a ghost.
It's
no, it's
Reigns.
these two.
Burger, burger.
It's these two. They're there. You're in the stairwell together. It's amazing. Are you closing the door behind you?
Yes.
It closes with a light click. Probably just the door jamb. And
Well, they opened it again for us.
the door is closed. And the stairwell is fairly well lit.
I
As it was
test the
previously.
door
Thank
just in
God.
case.
It seems like it will open again. It opens with a slight creak.
I don't trust that.
Excellent. We've established the door is still a physical door.
Wow,
Maybe we
that-
proceed down the stairs.
I don't want to be locked in. Let's go.
Where are you
Oh.
heading?
Downstairs.
Downstairs.
Right.
Might as well.
Dum dum dum. You find yourselves at the bottom of the stairs without incident.
Excellent.
And at the bottom
Yeah.
of the stairs is again that heavy metal door. Single piece, looks like it slides rather than opens like all the other doors here. Much heavier duty than you might normally expect in a hospital.
Oh crap.
And up beside it is the security checkpoint that you saw previously.
Mr. Raines?
How'd you guys even escape anyways? And I sit down on the bottom stair. You guys were tangled up pretty well, eh?
Unfortunately,
You have no idea.
about,
Yeah, I don't.
about 4 guys took it for the team.
We were attacked by an interdimensional flesh golem created by some unknown entity.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
Yeah,
It
whatever
had
you
no
said.
head and then also ripped other people's heads
Oh
off.
man, I wish we got to
Quite-
trade places.
Quite warm, actually. It probably had blood which regulated its
Oh,
internal
doctor
temperature.
dude. Oh, you might know about these. There's these spiders. I don't know. Spiders, they crawl up like
There are
little
dozens of species of arachnids.
armadillos. But these ones, get this, guys, crawl in your ears and then they eat your tissue, your eye tissue. They've got an eyeball on their back.
Yes, of course. The addict that we met at the beginning of the hospital already told us this.
Yeah, but like
You assumed this the whole time?
they are
yes.
are treated by Sarah and like she treated them like her babies.
Sarah-
So Sarah has been invaded then.
Sarah ran at us
Yeah.
full tilt as if
I mean,
was
it's
ready to kill at least
it's
me.
safe to say a lot of people here have been invaded and they accept it. They love it.
I don't like invaded as a
Actually,
term.
Mr. Day, she was probably not trying to kill you, but instead infect you with these creatures.
Infect is worse.
So why'd she seem normal then?
Obviously, they have not made an invasion without being able to blend in some way. This
Did
would also
she-
explain why Sarah was so calm as the lights went out in that hallway, though.
Was she able to just handle them?
Like I said, it's just a baby. She just picked him up and told him what to do and
A light clicks on and Apollo's head.
bitch.
Spider babies, maybe.
Possibly a nursemaid or something like that.
Well, and I whip out the note again and go over the names again. I didn't catch names, but Dr. Irving's on here, so the Dr. Morell must be the other one. Must be Sarah.
Gus, did you catch her name tag?
You did. It was Sarah Leifer.
I don't know anything about a Morel, but her name was Leafer.
I scan the note again real quick. That's not on there.
Mr. Rings.
Should
Can we continue?
boop 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 boop. So I take the security pass and kind of swipe it for the door
So
thing.
it's an
It's
NFC
a-
type
it's a-
thing. So you,
it's
just,
a-
Oh, you a good-looking bitch. You know?
so you hold it there for a few moments,
You a crazy bitch.
and
You
it
know?
goes from red to yellow, and then yellow to green, and then the door gives sort of a hiss and pushes open abruptly.
Is it
I
a
go to the
maglock?
side of the door
Like a
instead of
hydraulic,
standing
I
right in
guess.
front of it.
Yeah. So you get a small hiss, and then it goes and pulls into the wall, and there's a sort
Oh,
of
crap.
thudding.
What the fuck?
We're on a spaceship.
I get to the side of the door before it opens.
Maybe.
Okay.
Interesting.
So looking inside, you see a dark, dimly lit hallway, but it's a very short one, and it turns off quickly. Roll awareness.
I got a 5.
Do you have any dots in awareness?
Just this.
A
thing.
botch.
But you do have a dot in
In willpower.
on
So you're not
half a
rolling half
roll.
Got a botch. I got a 7.
So
Double botch.
you got a 1?
Yes.
An actual one? Oh,
You
dear.
you truly.
Don't do any more damage.
Your head explodes like that guy from
Come on.
Scanners.
Six.
It's dangerous down here.
5, 6, and 7.
6, 5.
7.
Oh,
I got a
7. Okay.
5, 6, 7.
So everyone who didn't botch,
Nah.
the thing that stands out to you most is that you've seen cameras throughout various parts of the hospital, but at the entrance to this little section of the hallway, you can see 2 cameras flanking the hallway, and they both look like they're pointing towards the small entrance hallway that leads in here. They scan, so occasionally they're facing away from the section of the hallway you're in, and sometimes they're pointing back towards the middle, off to the
could've been so
side, in the
bad.
middle,
it looks like the interval is roughly 30 seconds.
So they're doing a sweep back and
They're
forth.
doing a slow sweep, but both of the cameras are moving together.
Are they on opposite sides of the wall?
Yes, so one's mounted. So you've got your short hallway and then it turns, right? You've got two sharp turns,
pointed
two
in the
left
same
corners,
direction?
one that goes left and one that goes right. And so you've got these two cameras that are on the opposite wall, and yes, they're panning together. That's why it stands out to you both. You would think
That's
you want to watch both sides, right? But they're panning together.
Interesting.
That means... Okay.
Means one hallway isn't being seen.
The cameras are moving in synchronicity.
What cameras?
That shouldn't be how that goes. They should be pointing in two different directions for maximizing your coverage.
Indeed.
Unless they're that way on purpose, so that nefarious deeds can be done down here without notice.
I've literally got no idea what you guys are talking about.
And I grab his head and point it at the cameras in the corner.
Do I see the cameras?
Yeah, now that he's pointing them out to you, and he's also pressing painfully on a spot that's bruised and bleeding.
Oh, not on purpose. Damn.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I
burned.
see them.
Sorry. Just... Sorry.
So the interval between going from this to more like that.
So from completely this direction to completely this direction
30
looks like about 30 seconds.
So that's about 15 seconds, like boom, 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 boom,
Exactly.
boom. Okay.
They can see us in the door, though, if it points back in this direction.
So Hugh said that you have quickly put yourself to the side of the door,
Yeah.
and I assume the rest of you are still standing far enough back from the door that
Yeah,
you wouldn't be
I
considered
am-
on the threshold of
Right.
the door.
Yeah.
I approach it.
So the cone, let's say, is only that far.
Maybe.
I guess we'll find out.
Are
I don't
they
see the
pointed
cameras
straight, or are they
anyways,
pointed
so-
more downwards?
You do now.
Yes.
Are they pointed kind of straight or
They-
more downwards?
They're definitely pointed in such a way that they'll only catch vision of people who are walking through these hallways. So it looks like they've been purposely tilted such that they won't just catch people walking in the stairwell if the door happens to be open.
All right, Cap. Any plans? We got a camera situation here.
How much space is there underneath the cameras?
There's enough space that someone could stand there who is thin, tall.
One at a time if we sneak it. But then we don't know what's over there.
Well, I could scout ahead.
I'm just gonna be honest. I'd rather not. I think I'm hurting pretty bad. If there's something around the corner, I am for sure dead.
Certainly, someone with military experience should probably take the lead.
Well, at the same time, our mission here was to collect evidence of the agent's murder and why.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's correct.
So, do we have enough evidence at this point?
Only
have not even
that they
found-
didn't.
We have not even found the identity of the agent or where and how he was killed.
Only that they bypassed technical and medical processes. That means nothing when it
But-
comes to actual. It's just a safety.
But we don't necessarily need to find the agent because we don't even know what they look like or what gender they are. We just need to know what the cause was and why.
Well, what can we tell that the cause was? Dimensional spiders.
Well, you saw the giant creature we had to deal with.
We were also assigned to prosecute the offenders, so it sounds like we must stop these dimensional spider creatures as well.
Right.
How does the monster connect to these spiders, though?
The creature was grown like in a vat, created by something and controlled probably telepathically by another entity. Through my research of the Vodon methods, I do know something about black magic rituals that will sever such telepathic connections, but I will need half an hour.
That's not acceptable. Can we kill a guy and make it sever faster?
Yes, it would die through regular things that would kill a person.
No, I mean, if we kill the guy that it's linked to, would that die too?
The same way that smashing a radio tower will stop cell signal, yes.
Fantastic.
So, Doctor, what do you need for this ritual? Do you need the creature in the vicinity, or can it be done at any distance?
Probably some big
The only thing you need is the ability to etch the ground somehow. You could use chalk, you could use a piece of stone on a softer material. All you need to be able to do is inscribe the necessary sigils.
A knife on the ground?
It's
A knife would
not.
work.
I'm still a little confused. Do these
Just inscriptions are
spiders
necessary.
become this golem, or...
The spiders are the. Apollo shakes his head. The spiders are what makes the patients turn into something. We don't know anything past that, but at least puts them in the state that we see them.
Oh my god.
We don't have enough information to put this together, but I'm pretty sure the golems and the patients and spiders are unrelated outside of whatever is affecting all of this.
What a crazy coincidence.
The golem was crafted out of the same sort of viscous liquid that you discovered in the sanitizer, though, Mr. Heat.
Doctor,
makes
how
a little
much
more sense.
how much space do you need?
3 feet by 3 feet, which should be sufficient.
Okay, I'm
That's
gonna.
pretty big.
We kind of have to kind of split tactics here. No sense in everybody standing here while I scope out the area.
Absolutely.
And we saw what that thing could do. Not even I could take it out.
Are we
Not with
gonna
our
lure
current
it
equipment.
down here or something?
Well, if you can sever the connection just via this ritual without even the creature being here, I'd say that's a prudent course of action to take.
You'd be gone for half an hour,
Does
let's say.
fire do well to this thing?
Fire would work very well.
You're not looking too good, though, kid.
I mean,
I'm just trying to cover our bases.
he's
guys.
a doctor. He should be able to pick me up, right? He
I
should.
don't have magical powers.
But you can't patch some work or stitch it up or.
Okay.
Clearly,
Doctor,
you've been
the-
stitched a little
He
bit.
looks
Did
down at
it
his
do
clothes.
anything?
With what?
Doctor, the longer we talk, the
What are we
longer
gonna
this
do?
will take. I suggest you enact the ritual now.
Absolutely. I need something to etch into the ground.
Here's one of the knives.
That will work.
Do you still have one?
Yeah, of course.
Brings off the blade.
Ah,
Starts
this is
staring
gonna
at
Do you have
the
two?
carvings.
I gave one of my doctor, and I flick out the baton,
Okay.
and then I took this from the dead guy.
Does anyone have? I don't have a palm pad.
You have two?
Spider bitch crushed my earbud. I've got nothing.
Well, what I would suggest, you stay close for communications to either one of us three, and here's a spare knife that you dropped.
Great. All right. Well,
Anyways, the doctor is going to need some
Assistance.
concentration
Oh.
here, so one of us should stay behind, somebody who's most likely effective against this creature if it comes up. And I can...
Look, he's gonna die if something happens.
well, we all will if nothing happens.
So, are you volunteering to go forward, and maybe I follow, or do you want me to stay?
I will scout ahead, and I will keep in communication.
All right.
There's no need to get two of us caught.
Keep comms on.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
I try to kind of... How long is the hallway?
It's quite short. It's maybe 20 feet, and then you have the sharp turns to the right and to the left.
So it'll definitely take you less than 15
So,
seconds to get there.
You can get
Yeah.
under the cameras and then figure.
Well,
out
because
from there.
I'm also fairly agile.
We don't know if they have sound pickups or not if there's video.
I think you should just get under the camera.
Okay,
I mean,
so before I kind of go full tilt into this hallway, just because hallways and stairs and explosions and stuff, is it fairly dark? Is it fairly well lit?
It's quite dim. Is what I
dim,
said. Yeah.
but there's still light though.
There's light. There's enough light for you to see, obviously, the glint of metal
Right.
of the cameras themselves, to see the outline of the shape of the hallway. You can see that there doesn't seem to be anything on the ground here.
Okay.
In fact, now that you think about it, the hallway seems surprisingly clear, as though we're being purposely kept clear of things that might be in the field of fire, as it were.
Okay.
Do these look like gun cameras?
Just cameras, as far as you can tell.
Okay, so one of the pockets on my cargo pants that I got, I take my knife, kind of rip like a little corner off one of them, and kind of chuck it into the hallway.
While what? While the cameras are looking in this direction?
While they're not looking in this direction.
Okay. The cameras are panned to one of the two sides, and they start panning back across, and they complete their pan, and there's a smell of smoke, like something caught on fire very briefly.
Oh, shit.
When you take a look down into the dim hallway, you can see your piece of fabric still sitting there. It looks strangely stiff.
singed.
Doesn't look singed, doesn't look burnt, just really strangely stiff, as though it were holding its position when it really should be yielding to gravity.
What, it's floating?
No, it's kind of like, let's say you've got a soft sponge, right? It's soft when it's wet, but when you dry it, it can dry into a strange shape, so it's got kind of like a wave through it.
Sucks the moisture out.
So think of it like that. You've got this piece of fabric which you would expect to eventually settle flat, but it's holding its wavy shape the way that you threw it when the camera
panned across
Whatever it is completely like drying, desiccating it.
Great.
Maybe.
Or just
You're
freezing
not
it.
getting much of a glint of color off of it, so it's really hard to tell. Did it get burned? Did
freezing it.
it
or
get
something.
cold? What happened? But all you can see is that it looks quite stiff and hard.
Okay. I take the empty holder I have, kind of rip the tag part off of the extender thing,
Okay.
and as the cameras are like they go that way, and as they're coming back, I kind of try and chuck that into the hallway.
So as they're panning across,
Yes.
you put just the holders, but not the tags, not the security card.
Yeah.
Just the
So
holder
I
part
have
of
so I
it.
have the one holder that I took off the security
The
guard,
black
and then
one.
the other one that I saw on the ground
Right.
from before.
Yeah, dude.
So you're throwing one of those two, doesn't matter really which,
Yes.
into the field of view of the camera.
Yes.
You see it flash briefly as though it was suddenly ignited as the cameras pass through it. But again, it doesn't look singed as it falls to the ground. It doesn't look like burnt plastic.
Well,
It looks hard. And when it hits the ground, it shatters.
ooh.
And a couple of pieces scatter back towards you. They're stone.
Hey, Doctor, I hate to interrupt your prep there, but I checked a couple things with this hallway, and it looks like they turned to stone, especially when the camera caught a glimpse of them.
Keo peels himself off the floors down the wall. Instantaneous petrification. Fascinating.
Don't run
It's
down
what now?
the hallway.
Petrification. The act of something turning into stone.
Do you know
Yes,
the myth of
thank you.
Medusa? It's that.
No, it was...
Medusa was a named Gorgon. Gorgons were reptilian creatures who supposedly could turn things into stone from Greek mythology.
Still works with the name.
I suppose.
More so, how are the cameras doing this?
The easiest answer would be there's a Gorgon looking through the screen on the other side, but that's unlikely. I shouldn't say that.
As
Many things are not
unlikely-
likely today.
Jeez.
As unlikely as a creature that can crush a guy's head in an instant moment and throw me back 10
Spiders
feet.
eating your eyes,
It's
becoming
true.
eyes.
Although now we understand why the cameras are facing the same direction.
Golems and Gorgons and Griffins, oh my.
Gorgons require eye contact in order to cause petrification.
So one of each eye?
Possibly.
Would you like to roll Arcane?
Yeah, sure. I got a 3.
Okay. You are aware of something beyond Gorgons that are involved here. You know of something similar.
Cockatrices.
Catoblepis.
Something like that. You know of something, and you know that it needs binocular vision in order to do its effect. So
Catoblepis.
that's
what I
what's
said.
going on with the cameras, but you don't know exactly what. You can't quite grasp it.
Right, okay. Yes. Both eyes must be trained on the object in order to petrify them. And he goes back to his inscription.
Catoblepis.
So Doctor, just to confirm, if I'm able to get under the cameras before they see me and take one out, the effect would be null.
Yes.
How's the inscription coming along, by the way?
It's hard to make eye contact with a bullet from 50 feet away.
I still need 20 minutes and 47 seconds.
Range, do you want to bounce over there?
Based off of my judgment calls of this, as
I'm thinking throwing things in before going yourself.
no kidding! Wow, I might have learned from this.
I also don't think he would have just ran in while the cameras were panning.
Okay,
no, it's a
so-
fucking dumb idea, yeah.
So
The
based
blown off leg teaches best.
So I kind of get into a sprinter stance, waiting for the camera to go all the way to the end, and just as it goes boop like that, to start making its rotation back.
Yeah, you
No,
don't
hold
know
on,
how
hold on.
wide the cone is.
Okay.
Both have to see you.
Yes.
So you can, once one turns the corner, you're
Okay,
good.
so as both kind of go like that, I start going towards underneath the cameras.
Let's have a finesse roll.
Sweet.
Don't trip.
I got a 2, a 6, and a 10.
2, a 6, and a 10. You're fine. You make it to the other
You
end of the
do it.
hallway. You slam against the wall. You put your back up, and the camera sweeps past you.
Do I
your head.
see any wire attaching the cameras?
No, the cameras are attached with solid metal plates to the wall, and you assume that the wires must be running through the plates into the wall behind you.
How's it rotating it then?
They have little gimbals that they're rotating.
Ah,
Is it kind of like, does it look like sheet metal casing?
It doesn't look like it's particularly thick. These are not heavy duty in terms of they're meant to withstand somebody, say, puncturing it with a knife.
Okay.
You could puncture one at a time.
Before I do
Only
that,
two.
looking down both hallways, now my left and right versus their right and
Right,
left.
let me quickly
What do I
consult my
see?
notes. Off to your left.
My left would be their
Right,
right.
so you're facing the door now.
Yes.
Because you slammed your back against the wall
Yeah.
here underneath the cameras. So off to your left, you can see that the hallway actually comes to an abrupt end here. It was just masked by the dimness of the light. But off to your right, you can see that the hallway continues past 2 fairly large rooms and a long wall. There's about 150 feet worth of hallway here.
Oh, so you can make that.
And then there's a doorway at the end of the hallway.
Doorway.
So there's one doorway off to the side of the hallway that enters into one room. There's another doorway near the end of the hallway. So one of the doorways is on, if you're facing the door, it's on your right. It's on the right side wall. There's another doorway on the left side wall further along. And then there's one doorway that's right at the end of the hallway.
Cool.
Each of these doorways are single sliding metal doors, and they have the little touchpad with security NFC chip, it looks like, and it's glowing dimly red from LED light, each of them.
Sweet. Oh, I guess I can't wave to you guys because you'll get petrified.
You could wave.
You could, yeah.
You wouldn't necessarily get petrified depending on where you waved.
No, I mean, like, if they were to kind of, like, pop their head in. They
Oh.
We could see you, right?
They can still see you from behind the threshold of the door.
We also see a mass.
Hey, guys.
They see that you are alive and still moving.
Alright, well, made it. Hi, guys. There's nothing to your right, but to your left, there's several doors. One at the end, looking like a similar keypad that we just went through.
Are the doors locked?
I don't know because I'm still standing here. Hi.
Maybe they had keypads or something. Smartass.
Well, based off of the other keypad, probably.
Your primary focus should be to neutralize the cameras.
Yeah, I was getting there. Don't worry.
Should we neutralize them? I take my finger off of the thing as I'm talking right next to you. Should we neutralize them? Because that would alert whatever might be on the other side to our position.
True, but otherwise Mr. Raines will have to proceed by himself.
And that
You're not so fast then, are you?
I would like the people who are left in the stairwell to all roll awareness.
6!
What'd you
Oh,
get?
yeah.
Teal.
I got
got
3.
me.
I got
Three.
3.
And a 2.
See, I didn't put a point in awareness because I figured he'd be too busy.
So
Busy
the-
reading the stuff.
Not
the two
being
of
aware.
you
I
don't
should
hear
have.
this, but you hear a thudding thump
Fuck!
sound from up above.
Damn
from above you.
How far along am I in the etching?
You are halfway there.
Okay.
Gentlemen, I hear that thumping again.
There is one thing that occurs to you as he says that, and that's that the etching doesn't have to all be in one place. You can actually etch in multiple different places and have it take effect as long as you complete all of the sigils.
Right.
We got 2 options here. Are we gonna split up? Maybe some of us will go upstairs.
I'm not gonna want to come downstairs again like that happened last time.
What are you talking about?
We
We
could
could
get-
search something else.
We could get murdered, or we could just get split up again.
Hey, Cap.
Potentially split up.
Cap.
What are you talking about,
Follow.
man?
There's another thudding thump, and then there's the crashing explosion sound as the door up the top you can see from the bottom of the stairwell goes slamming into the wall on the other side and then clatters down onto the stairs in front of you.
Holy
Before I
shit.
say anything else, let me say this. I can either die and kill this thing, probably gonna die,
Mr.
or we follow Deadshot.
Mr. Raines, can you disable one of the cameras so we may proceed down the hallway?
Yeah, I mean, I do so anyways.
All right,
Slide
let's
it
have an
forward.
achieve.
Achieve? Oh, I only get 1 for that. 8.
Yeah, that's plenty. You push your knife into the base of the camera, and before you even bother dragging it through, you see sparks fly and a little fire start inside of the box, and then the camera stops moving. The other camera beside it hits it as it tries to turn into it, and just sort of stalls there, the motor squealing.
And then I do the same with the other one.
Same effect.
Okay. Always clear, guys.
Do you need to finish your...
I can continue the etching in any location as long
Let's
as all decisions are
fucking go.
made.
There's a squelching thump from the top of the stairs.
Right. Speed then.
Quickly and quietly.
Should we check these doors?
So you go down the hallway.
Is there any windows down here at all?
No. It is dim.
We are in the
You're
basement.
in a creepy laboratory.
Okay, gents, up ahead we got a corner. We got a couple of mysterious doorways. Don't know where they lead.
The more doors we open, the worse off things might be.
I will yield to
So-
your discretion.
So what
I'm
did that
gonna-
monster look like?
Don't worry about it.
I'm going to scout ahead to the corner,
I'm
see
kind
what's
of
around it.
peering, waiting to catch a glimpse of it.
There's a squelchy thumping sound as something makes its way down the stairs. You hear one of the stairs, sort of the concrete rebar reinforced stairs, sort of give way underneath the weight of it as it crashes to one of the landings, and then it continues squelching onwards, and you catch a glimpse of looks like light reflected off of a glossy metal or plastic exterior. Looks black and shiny.
I think it would look cooler if he was like red or
Stop,
something.
let's go.
So I scout ahead to the corner.
Okay, you make it to the corner, and you see another set of cameras. These ones are on this opposite wall, so I'm not going to show you that just yet. But you do see that the hallway does continue here,
Okay.
and there's a wall here, and it looks like the hallway continues in both directions there. And there's a camera set here and a camera set there, and they are swiveling together.
Is this one a bit longer than the initial hallway?
This hallway is a good 150 feet. It's at least as long as the hallway you just walked down.
Okay.
It would take you probably the entire 15-second interval to make it to the opposite wall, even at a sprint, since none of you are,
Superhuman? Yeah.
or even like Bolt Hussein or whatever.
Usain Bolt.
Sure, that guy.
Okay, guys. I could make it, not guaranteed, or we could check these doors. There's another set of cameras.
Might as well... Ah, fuck. We might as well check one of the doors.
Perhaps hide from this creature.
That as well.
I try the door closest to me, which would be that one.
This one right here?
Yes.
Okay. It doesn't open when you just press on it.
With the pass.
When you put the security pass to it again, it goes orange, holds for a few seconds, you hear some more squelchy thumping, and then it goes green, and the door slides open.
And I step to the side before it opens again.
Nothing comes at you out of the darkness, but the room is dark inside.
Like pitch black.
Damn it.
Let's
Flashlight would be great right now.
check the other
That'd be
ones
great.
first, and then just make a choice.
Well, we don't really
There are
have
a lot of time
choice
for
to go
choices.
backwards now.
Thump bump.
Into the dark or consumed by creatures.
Yep.
So
So I scope it out.
you step inside. Nothing immediately happens.
Your
to
leg
you.
blows off.
And then the lights flicker on. Seems like they're activated by someone walking in.
Oh my god!
Wait,
Oh,
wait.
that scared the crap out of me.
In.
Let's go, let's go.
And I usher...
As you all walk in, you see that there's a little touch plate beside the door.
I hit it as I walk in last.
This room is quite simple. It's a tiny little cubby hole. It looks like there's some big box in one corner with lots of red and green flashing lights on it. It stands a little taller than a man, about 2 meters high, and it's got a lot of thick armored cabling running out of it in various directions. And then off to the side, there's some vent pipes and so on. This room looks fairly unfinished. You can see the plaster walls, the concrete floor. It doesn't look like this is a patient treatment room. And on a table, there's a couple of simple carpenter's tools. There's a little screwdriver, electronic repair kit sort of thing. And there's a little map of this section with some notes on it.
Da-da-da.
Where'd you find that?
Map on what?
Wait, you said there was a toolbox with little tools?
Yeah, so there's a couple of carpenter's tools like a hammer and a measuring stick and a paint mixer. And then there's a little electrical repair kit with some electrical tape and a screwdriver set.
What is this puzzle going to be?
So this is the stairwell we came down, right? That's the first hallway. So we must be in this room then.
You've got it.
Yeah.
So we're in a generator room.
Yeah.
And that's what the big box you realize is with the armored cables coming out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Check in security.
It must be some sort of generator.
Ingress wardroom.
And then that's the hallway that Rain saw
Yes.
going on that
What
way.
is thalamic medicine?
Thalamic is to do with the blood.
And there's also security check-in. Thank God we didn't go in there.
Okay, so anyways, we're in the generator room.
You are in the
Keel
generator
pulls his knife out and begins to continues his carvings on the floor.
I walk over to the table with the computer repair or whatever electrical repair stuff. Is it like a small box? Is it a toolbox?
Tiny little case, and it's just got the electrical tape in it and some screwdriver set, right, with replaceable heads.
Are we still hearing the thumping down the hallway? Or?
When the metal doors slid closed, it cut off sound from out in the hallway.
Okay. So then I open the case. I'm wearing cargo pants or something, right?
Yeah.
That's how you kind of described it?
Yeah.
So then I take the tape and put it in one, and I take the screwdrivers and put them in the other.
Sure.
And I look at the hammer longingly.
Street stuff.
Not today.
All right, cool. So
I
you've
might
got
need
a hammer,
the hammer.
you've got...
No, I don't have the hammer. I didn't
And
take
you
it.
don't have a hammer. You have electrical tape and a screwdriver.
I take the hammer and put it into one of my cargo pockets.
Okay. Although the sounds from out in the hallway were cut off when the door was closed, that was when the sounds were distant, and now you hear something thump against the walls as though it's having a difficult time navigating a narrow hallway, whatever it is.
Great.
There's sort of a scritching sound as of many hands running their nails across the walls.
How about we be very quiet? Let it pass. Let it do its thing.
Hopefully it doesn't have some sort of extrasensory ability to sense heat signatures or something.
There's a sound of a metal door sliding open further down the hallway, and you get the impression there might have been a door along this hallway.
Yes.
And then you hear a door sliding closed, and then the slithering, scritching sound down the hallway continues towards your door.
All that's in this room is the case.
That's it. That's in this room. The
and-
generator and the case.
And
us.
Perhaps we should get up against the wall opposite.
Agreed.
And stop moving, because perhaps the lights will go off.
He stops etching and runs up against like the wall along where the door
I go to
is.
the wall that Dr. Keel's at.
Yep.
There's a long pause as the thing continues to scritch along the wall and then stops. And the door slides open on its own. And you don't hear much, but over the sounds of your own heart's beating, you can hear a hiss thump, even as it stands still. And then the door slides shut again, and you hear scritching as something runs along the walls. Another door slides open, and this time you hear the thing slither and slurp its way into that room. And you hear the door slide shut behind it.
Well, that was mildly disturbing.
Only mildly.
There's a
There's
note
a
on the
stairwell
map.
in there.
There's a note on the map.
There's a couple notes.
Right. We should reduct the undefined spaces.
Yeah.
Redact.
And note to self, don't forget ID. The cameras are watching. Also, don't forget to pick up milk. Some fucking genius wrote this one.
Protect the undefined areas. What do you mean?
Redact undefined spaces. I'm not sure what that means. Take a look.
The undefined spaces.
Well, the hallways, most likely.
Oh, interesting. There are places here at the bottom with question marks.
But that just
Storage room or
means
something.
if these things have question marks, then that means we don't know necessarily what's in it.
Indeed.
Well, I'm more so wondering if I had an ID, would it identify me as friendly?
I wouldn't try.
Not necessarily something you want to go and face up against, probably.
Could we test that theory?
From the room that you heard the thing slither into, you're fairly sure you hear another different sort of sound, sort of like a metallic clicking.
From the room we heard it slither into.
Yes, that you heard from the room you heard it slither into. It's metallic clicking, like many sharp metal things hitting the ground at once. And then you hear the door slide open, and something sharp metal tapping on the ground, like half a dozen tappers, all hoofing it as hard as they can
Nice.
down the hallway.
It's adapting.
And the door slides shut behind it, and you hear it skitter down the hallway,
towards your door, and it stops at your door, and there's a tap 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 on the door.
Like up against the wall.
Yep.
There's another tap 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 against the wall, against the door. A third time there's a tap 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 tap.
I bet there is.
And then an insectile leg made of metal crashes through the door and pulls the door back out into the hallway with it. And something with 8 legs squeezes a couple of the legs past into the room and sort of squeezes the side. And you see it tilt its massive bloated body upwards, and a single massive human-like eye looks at you from beneath metal armor. And it looks along against the room and up to the wall and looks at you all, eye to eye.
Fascinating.
It pulls its bulk back out, and then 2 of the legs pull into the wall and start pulling the wall apart.
A duck.
Okay, off the wall then.
Yeah, I jump off the wall.
It pulls the wall apart like it was made of tissue paper above your heads and pulls pieces of the ceiling out. It's pretty clear it couldn't make its way into the room as it was. It wants a bigger door.
Right.
And it completely pulls the wall apart over top of you in seconds. And then it brings its legs back down. And then it sort of moves itself up onto a couple of legs again as though it were peering around. Spots you, comes back down.
I go to try and rip one of the armored metal cables off.
Okay. So I want you to make a agility roll.
Can I help him?
Absolutely. Make the same roll.
A 9 and a 3.
Pair of deuces.
You duck and roll like an ace and go between its legs as it brings a couple of its legs in your direction.
You duck and roll like an ass.
You, unfortunately, get slammed to the side by one of them, and it manages to pierce its way through some of the tissue on the side, dragging one of its clawed metal legs through your side. Take 2 points, and you are bleeding, which we will talk about in a bit. And then it brings its other legs down in your direction. I'd like both of you to also roll finesse. Oh, sorry, agility rather, because you're defending. Not finesse.
Oh!
Watch for Mr. Keel.
Doctor's dead.
It's a 4.
4. Okay. It pins you beneath one leg, piercing one of your legs with one of its, and holds you in place. You feel like the flesh has been torn, but it doesn't seem to have hit the bone. You think your leg is still intact, just pinned. What'd you get?
4.
4. It also slams you aside, but doesn't pin you. It slams you in the direction of the ingress ward room and slams you up against the door there.
Okay. How many damage?
1.
Okay.
You take 3.
What's the plan here, guys?
Do any of us make it to the generator that I was trying to get to?
Yes, you make it to the generator. You got smashed against the wall, following up with Apollo, who also got smashed in that direction. You're both up against the wall with the ingress ward room that the spider came out of.
Hey Gus, good plan. Rip out the cable from the generator, and you know that thing's metal, so...
How are you acting so calm during this? You just got impaled.
He didn't get impaled.
No,
Like a
got
little
got
bit.
it,
I know,
yeah.
but it still went.
Yeah.
He got slammed up.
He's
been shot
He
before.
got his obliques.
He's been in war, dude.
pierced.
I've dealt with this before.
I've seen wars, you
As
know.
if a scout sniper. Yes.
Calm under fire.
Electrifying the creature would probably be a good idea.
I'm going to roll and tell you guys what happens. Tell me what your actions are, each of you first.
Well, I'm gonna rip that cable.
Rip some cables out of the generator?
Yeah.
Which side of the cables are you ripping out? The ones that are going into the wall or the ones that are going into the generator?
The one's going into the generator, I'd assume.
Okay. So you're ripping them off
Oh,
of the
no,
generator.
no. The ones from the generator going into the wall.
Cuts.
Okay, I know the cameras are at the end of that hallway, so I want to try and back out of view of the cameras.
I want you to roll awareness.
6.
So So you can see that the cameras are actually pointed in your direction. The spider is unaffected, and you're not affected. And Apollo is standing behind you, such that he's in the shadow of both you and the spider.
Now, can I make the connection that it might be because my pass is showing?
It might be.
Is my pass kind of like dangling there?
Well, it's on your body. It's on your person.
Yeah. I want to take my shirt and kind of make a tourniquet thing. Like basically wrap it around myself and kind of pull it.
Just put pressure on it.
Trying to kind of
Stem the flow.
Yeah, you just have time to do surgery.
I want you
Mitigate
to...
Tape you
bleeding.
later.
I want you to
With
roll
electrical
medicine.
tape.
Yeah, I have one in intelligence.
Okay, what are you up to?
Pulling the cable.
Okay, I want you to roll achieve. What are you up to?
I'm dodging, like doing a movement or a roll or getting as far away as I
Gonna get
can
fucked all
while
day.
taunting the creature.
What are you saying that you think will offend this creature enough to keep it on you?
Hey, you ugly bitch over here.
You're just a piece of plastic.
I'm not sure.
Actually, is the wall like
I don't know.
completely just
I'm
or is it just
I'm
like
pinned
there's
down to the
3
ground.
feet or something and I can just jump over? Or
Yeah, the wall into the generator room and the door that was in that wall is completely obliterated. It's just so much scrap.
Okay, then I can jump
So-
that
Try
way and get it
stabbing
closer to the generator if he pulls the cable out,
Yes.
and maybe we can shock it. We'll see.
So,
what happens.
for,
So I jump that way.
We also have like a minor action, right?
Yes.
So for my minor action, I would say,
Focus in secondary is the language.
Doctor, get back to that inscription. Whatever you do, keep going.
Against the wall.
No, my leg's impaled. I'm on the ground.
Oh,
So I'm kind
Not
of
a-
hoping, kind
not
of
the
like
wall,
snap
just the
you back
ground.
into it.
drawn in blood.
Great. I'm injured. I would like to do that. I'm wondering if you're gonna. Do I need to roll like focus to try to keep my mind on that?
No, you can continue doing it, but other actions might interrupt you, and then you'll need to roll focus.
Okay.
That's not
The spider thing it seems
Spider
content with keeping you pinned where you are right now. It obviously figures it can deal with you at its leisure.
Great.
It's terribly offended by you. No, it doesn't. Doesn't seem to really understand, but it does seem to be intent on trying to murder you. So as you skid your way past it back into the generator room towards the generator, it tries to slam its leg into your head.
Right.
However, it misses, and instead it slams its leg through the wall of the ingress ward room. And you can see beyond it there seems to be a large, well-lit room with a circular platform with a number of strange inscriptions scribbled all around it. And if Keel ever gets the opportunity to look in, we'll talk about what he thinks of them.
Right.
And that's its only action, so let's go back around.
So I rolled an 8 for my medicine thing.
Right.
Maybe
So
okay.
you managed to pull whatever piece of fabric you were trying to secure
I
yourself
was
with.
basically trying to take off my shirt as much as I could and use it.
It
that
hurts like hell to pull
Yeah.
your shirt off of the wounded side.
Yep.
But you do it, and you manage to pull it taut on your side, and the bleeding doesn't stop, but it lessens. And I'll let you know if and when that means anything.
Cool.
I have tape.
You
Not a 2.
two.
This generator's not budging.
The armored cable is. Have you ever seen armored cable in an industrial setting?
It's
So you-
thick.
Yeah, so you've got the cables that are running through
Yes.
it, but the outside of
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is
yeah.
a solid metal linkage
How's it attached?
that appears to go right into the wall plaster and through, right off to wherever it's going, and is attached with screws to the top of the generator. So as far as you can tell, it'd be really hard to break the armored casing anyways.
Alright, Phillips or...
Yeah, it looks like Phillips heads.
Alright, as my secondary action, I yell out to you, give me this freaking screwdriver with the Phillips head!
Oh, okay. So I don't
Give me
know.
the screwdriver
I
with the Phillips
pull it
head.
out. I pull it out, and no, I don't want to launch. No, don't
I would
wanna
imagine
launch
it already has
I want it to
Phillips
be
head.
ready for him. Like maybe this. What does the screwdriver have in it currently? If I pull it out,
Let's
Phillips head is so
let's have a
big.
luck roll. Just like roll a single d10.
fuck me.
Anyway.
How lucky are
No,
you?
luck you. That's like.
But that's
right?
just like.
Okay, wait, that's a luck roll. That's fine.
a luck roll. That's
Continue.
like, it just doesn't have it.
That's a
right?
good. That's a good one. That's a good.
Chris-
That's a good.
You're
He
gonna
got a 1. There should be like there's a ferret on it or something, right?
It's actually
So
not
maybe
even a
I-
screwdriver.
It had a Phillips head in it.
It fell off.
And you flipped it out upside down, and the Phillips head rolls onto the ground and away from you.
You're a
Why is it one of these multi-head screwdrivers?
Okay. Then for my action, could I try and scramble over while trying to pick it up?
Yeah, so pulling it out of your pocket would have been your secondary, and going to grab it and try and pick things up and maybe get it to him will be
As
your,
close as possible. Yeah.
your major action.
Can he also talk?
Focus. Yeah, I'll allow it.
Do you want to tell me about what you saw?
Oh. Doctor, there was a room in the Ingress War. There was it's a circular platform with a bunch of inscriptions. I don't fucking know. I saw it for 2 seconds.
That's
Right.
a single sentence.
Great.
You should have done a longer run-on sentence.
You should have.
Yes, just for future reference, putting lots of commas into your sentence will not stop me from cutting you off.
Yeah, it's a 6
Cool. You managed to
for
pick.
something.
Yeah, you managed to pick up the screwdriver and the head,
Great.
and
How lucky of you.
and you roll them towards August. So let's go back around to Keo.
Right, okay, so I've now been told by Mr. Day that there's an inscription on the floor.
So you can try and, since you're lying on your back, it's pretty hard to see from where you are. You can try and level yourself up to see, but wow, is that going to hurt? But your leg is pinned, not your upper body.
Right. Okay.
Good thing you've done those crunches.
So what do you do?
Okay, well, let me try and look at it.
Okay, so you managed to get up, moving your leg as little as possible, both because it hurts and because you don't want to attract the creature's attention. You managed to see over the gap that the creature has made in the walls, and you do recognize this sort of portal. This is exactly. This is a summoning portal, right? It all comes together for you in a moment that the creature who was here previously went into that room and left because its master figured it wasn't being effective and sent something else in its place.
Right.
Great.
But any door swings both ways. So you realize that wherever this door leads, right, you could follow, and you could also send things back through it if you could get over there to activate it and get whatever you wanted to send away into it.
Right.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's still all a bunch of jargon to
That's
pretty
it.
much everybody else.
That's ifs. That's
Just say it's a Stargate and I'll get it. Not Atlantis though.
The sigils are part of a doorway mechanism. The creature has entered our dimension through some sort of portal device. We must attempt to send it back.
Is it anything like Stargate?
Sure.
SG-1, not
You
Atlantis.
100% would not. It's Stargate.
You don't know. Maybe he's into Stargate.
It's totally in the Stargate now. It's canon. Over to you.
Okay, Doc, I need to know real quick. If I remove some of these inscription things, will that do anything to affect this creature?
No, all
a
you'll do
door.
is disable the portal.
Okay. What I'm going to do is open the door to that room, the Ingress room,
Okay.
to try and get some more info to help the Doc.
It opens quickly and easily.
With the pass I'm using.
Yeah, with the pass. And the door slides open for you, and you're able to get in. The room is fairly well lit, like I said. You can see the portal section in the middle. Now that you're in the room, you can see that off in one corner is what looks like a fairly standard computer, and you can see a thick, heavy armored cable running beneath the portal area, like the raised area, and into it. And on the screen there, you can see like a simple touch GUI. And it says one transit waiting. And it's called accept.
So seeing this, I related
is
to
the
the
best one.
doctor. I got a thing that says transport, accept, or decline.
That sounds like a really bad idea.
Some kind of terminal device that operates the mechanism. For the layman, obviously.
So what do I do?
It's a gamble.
If I accept this thing, will this thing we're dealing with go away?
No, not necessarily.
You might just bring in 2 monsters.
It's a gamble, Mr. Raines, but I am not in the capacity to make the decision for you.
Coming to you.
I go for the screwdriver.
Okay, you grab the screwdriver, no problem.
I go to unscrew this cable.
Not a problem. It's just a screwdriver and
Like a screwdriver
screws.
hole.
That's how it
Yep.
works.
Yep.
The
How many
armor cabling
boxes?
comes loose, and you're able to push it up, and you can grab a good handful of cable.
That's exactly what I do.
All right, they're just cables now that they don't have their armor protection. They rip free, and when a couple of them touch, you can see you've got a whole bunch of red and blacks. When some of the reds and the blacks touch, you see sparks fly.
Beautiful.
When the reds and blacks touch, also the generator has a couple of lights that suddenly go red, and then when they stop touching, it flickers back to green.
All right. Well, I wield this bad boy like a whip. And I go to smack the.
You're gonna kill Dr. Keel!
Oh.
He can take it.
Because his metal thingy is in my front.
Fuck.
Okay,
So
so
I'm
we'll come
just
back to
wielding
you.
it.
So now you've got it. You're starting to move it around.
Yeah,
like
man, I've
that,
got a
so-
whip.
And all right, indie time,
Yeah,
Here we go.
The Raiders lost
And then I say, Keel, you
Uh-huh.
have about 15 seconds to get out from there.
Dun, 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 dun.
Why do you?
10.
Oh, I see. Yes, of course.
Oh gosh. He's currently got Dr. Keel pinned.
Correct,
I assume
it just
this-
figured
I got
it
hit
out.
by this thing, so it's heavy.
I would only imagine.
Heavy, but I mean, when it impacted you,
Punch
you
it.
could have fought with that single leg's worth of mass.
Awesome.
Too bad
That's
it's
what
got
I
8
wanted
of
to
them.
do, to try to pick it off of Dr. Keel.
Then you need to make an overpower roll.
I don't have that. Maybe I can do something else.
Well, you could make a heroic effort.
And make it a full die.
And if I botch,
And remember, you can spend as many health points as you
Yeah.
want, making additional heroic efforts.
That's right.
So you get as many dice as you spend 2 hit points for.
I like this character.
Well, you've got plenty of health to waste.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, you're doing
I have,
fine.
I have 2 health left.
fuck it, I'm spending 4 health.
Oh!
I mean, that's
2 dice. 2 dice.
Dice, it's serious.
Alright, so
He's
my
really trying
goal
to-
is to pick it up and at least get it off so there's not a circuit that includes Dr. Keel into it.
I thought
I'm
I would be
rooting for you.
touching you.
So am I.
That's 2 5s!
You did it.
Yay!
So it's
Use your
hard
legs.
work, but you feel something giving as you do it, but you lift it up. And you
Okay.
pull the metal right out of his leg, and you shove the leg and you put it down to the side. Feels like you lifted a goddamn helicopter.
Now, do it now!
I roll a little bit.
You,
so I'm not going to be underneath
you
the leg anymore.
scream a little bit.
Do you go into the room?
Yeah. Well, I have to get up. I'm going to have to limp there now.
So which room are you heading for?
To where the computer
Ingress room?
Yeah.
Okay. You managed to make it now that you're no longer being pinned.
Great.
Right? The creature is consumed with his attention with the guy who just picked up his leg and like shoving it around and stuff.
Dare you?
Yeah,
I could die.
He's kind of upset.
I might
So
really die here.
he doesn't watch you as you skittle out from beneath his legs and make it into the ingress room. In the room, you recognize immediately the sigils. You're like, oh, this is summoning and banishment all in one? This is actually kind of complex.
Nice.
But it's kind of sloppily made as well. It's like somebody who read an instruction book but wasn't a master of their own craft.
How to summon for dummies?
I shake my head at the amateur.
Okay, Doc. Yeah, you see it now, so...
And
what?
you can see the device that's tied into it, and that also strikes you as both clever and blasphemous. How dare they meld modern technology and ancient magic?
Oh, see?
Yeah, Keel's an old-fashioned man. Doesn't like computers.
But isn't that what magic is? Just very advanced tech?
Maybe, and somebody has managed to make them work together.
Do I have any...
So the thing that you can see on the screen is exactly the same thing that he can see. You're not familiar with the technology because this is like bespoke custom stuff.
Yeah.
And you frankly don't think much of combining it with magic. You think
Yes.
there's probably a lot of unintended consequences. But you can see the same thing that he's seeing, and that's one transit waiting, except just a big green button.
Amateurs. Sloppily done. Although combining the summoning circle with a custom computer GUI is pretty interesting.
So, do we accept it? Will it send it back, or will it send us something?
Impossible to know. This is a custom program. I'm unfamiliar with this particular device.
Okay, Doc, I need to know, do I hit this button or don't I? I need your expertise in this shit because we gotta make a decision. We got 2 lives on the line.
Push the button, Mr. Rains.
Can't get
You
worse.
get your action first because you were preparing with
Yeah.
that, so.
This is gonna be wicked, and I whip. I try to get like the top of the spider.
Let's have
Please
have-
let me see it do nothing.
let's have a precision roll.
Oh, dude, who cares? This is gonna be.
Please let me see it do nothing.
Alright, I'm just gonna.
Hey, would that count as a projectile?
That's a 4.
4? Yeah, that's fine. It's a big target. It's pretty
Yeah.
hard to miss.
Yeah.
You got a lot of
And
cables.
all you have to do is connect to the
Just
metal.
go bot.
And wow, does it ever ground itself out? You see the whole thing twitch like a spider that's just been smacked with a newspaper.
Or
The
an
legs go
electrical
up,
cable.
The legs go up and the body goes down and it smacks hard and you see the concrete break beneath its
So
body.
you're dead.
And then its legs pull back up and it smashes itself into the ceiling. It's looks like it's malfunctioning as well as suffering. But it's not dead. It goes down and it goes up and its legs jerk and finally it breaks the contact with electrical cables. It's smoking.
Bitch, yeah. Yeah, that was sick. That was sick.
A couple
Not
of
even in my
couple
kid,
of
that
its
was
legs
sick.
twitch loosely, like they don't work, but a few of the legs manage to focus it around, and it focuses on you.
Bring on round 2 and hit that button.
Over to you.
Boop. Based off of the doctor's recommendation, I take no responsibility for my actions.
A golem comes in. A hot
There's-
dog.
There's a moment of
Awesome.
discontinuity that's like a white flash across all of your vision, and then there's another figure standing in the circle. It's an older fellow, kind of etched skin. He's got a bit of a squint to him, like he's not taking anything seriously. Looks around at you guys. He's wearing kind of like saggy, baggy pants, gray. He's got on like Walmart greeter kind of shirts. He's got a little name tag on with the hospital ID on it, and he's wearing like an old ball cap for the, let's say it's the Blue Jays. Ah, now I gotcha. And he points at the creature as it focuses on you and goes, bang. And the creature explodes into a million sparks.
That's great.
All of its legs go flying off in different directions, but avoiding you, they just sort of pop and fall and clatter all over the place. And the whole thing slams itself into the ceiling one last time, and the whole thing sort of scatters and you get a little soft rain of molten metal. It's a little uncomfortable, but it doesn't hurt.
And then I take my finger off the button. I'm like, that's why they call me Deadshot.
I think that's perfect.
And we'll call it there.
I think that's amazing. That's so good.
Because it was my trigger finger.
Oh,
That was great.
bang. Yeah,
Thank you.
that was awesome.
Good evening, dear listeners. This is S.I.R. That is S-I-R. I trust you enjoyed tonight's entertainment. This episode's cast is as follows. Nathaniel Keefer as Dr. Walter Keel. Philip Zivkov as August Heats. Richard Jellison as Apollo Day. Kirk Dawson as Avery Rains. Christopher Keefer as Samuel Shea. Tonight, our storyteller was Christopher Keefer. Until next time, in transmission.